This is the question that every new real estate agent wants to know. And honestly, even not new agents, I'm 11 years into the business. I've spent my entire adult life selling real estate, and you've spent most of yours now, honestly.
Most of my adult life, yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Selling real estate. And we are now a husband and wife real estate team. We still love hearing about what's working for other people and just discussing this topic that we're going to talk about today. And that is, how do you get business when you don't have any? I think a common misconception about real estate is that maybe businesses hand it to you, or just like it's people don't understand how hard it is to get business. That it's like, that's actually, when you're new, at least, that's actually the hardest part about the job, is actually getting the business.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like if you're a real estate agent, this is so relatable to anybody. Just like you said, you've been doing the business for 11 years. I'm going on 8 years. Maybe this is your first year in real estate, and you're killing it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is my advice, my simple thing of, hey, if I were to restart, or if I were to do this in this time period when I am buying and selling real estate and helping people write contracts to buy and sell, is don't be content. Even if you have, 8 things in the pipeline, as I like to say. Pipeline to me is, what do I have to look forward to in 2, 3, 4 months down the road? What have I laid down so then at the end of the day, I get that commission? Because we can all agree, commissions are hard. They are. And when you don't have a commission, it's kind of scary. I remember when we first got in the business, and we were at a different office then, and there was an individual that had been in this real estate game for, 15, even 20 years. He went through that '08 market, and he gave me some advice. And I always actually asked him, what should I be doing here? And so he put on a really good mentor role for me. But he said, Spencer, when the market's low, you're going to know. And you're going to know when every agent leaves the business. You're going to know that paying your bills is hard. You're going to know when you need to save your cash and you need to start putting things on credit cards. I can relate to that now. I can. And
because we've seen different housing markets is what he means, because before we hadn't seen a market like that. Sorry to just cut you off.
Yeah.
But just to explain, like the market that we went through previously over the last few years was, there was less home sales overall than even in '08, like less home sales in the last 20, 25, 30 years or something like that.
Yeah. So when I'm listening to a story, he says, when you know, and there's going to be less agents in the business, and when you need to save your cash, you save your cash and use your credit when it's time. We just lived through that market, I believe. We just went through there. And so that's why when we drew this topic out of the hat today, we just said, I think this one's relevant. I think that agents need to hear these stories, because if this is you and you don't have enough business right now, there's always something else you can be doing, whether it's the stuff we don't want to do. Let's get real, Mariah. Like the stuff that I don't want to go do, and that's creating a flyer. I don't consider myself an art creator. I don't.
Thankfully, now we can outsource those things with like Fiverr. You know, there's so many ways.
But like they cost money or time or investment. And then I have to type out all these little details that I want, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might have to. So sometimes you're in such a low spot in this business. You can talk to your best friend. You can call your mom and dad, because ever since I got in the business, my family said, well, what are you going to do when the real estate's not hot? What are you going to do when there's no sales happening?
Yeah. But can I just say something?
Yeah.
Even in the worst of times, like the absolute worst markets, like we just lived through, sales are still happening.
Exactly.
Like this is still our only income. We still live a great life. Like we're still we've cut, previously over in years past, we've had to cut expenses at points, whatever. But like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like, we were still able to have real estate as our only full-time income and live a wonderful life. Like it wasn't like, oh, get out of the business. Like people make it sound like there's always more business out there. There's always a way to make it happen, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yes, it ebbs and flows, and there's times when you pull back and whatever, but it is realistic to be like your full-time only income, even in the worst of markets, like we just saw, and still live a wonderful life, and I would never trade it for any other lifestyle.
So to get back to my question, though, and point is, what do you do when the business is slow?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, whether it's your family, your friend, your neighbor, they're all thinking this if you're a real estate agent, especially over the last 3 years. I mentioned there's door knocking, there's cold calling, there's for sale by owners, there's going in your phone and going through your whole contact list. Because back in the day when I first got in the business, there was a guy named Tom Ferry. Is that the guy? That's I haven't watched his videos in years. Honestly, I probably should turn them on and tune in. But he was a really good coach for free for me because I didn't pay for his subscriptions. Yeah. But I listened to his YouTube channel, and then it was more that inspiration side, because we get to these low points because we're commission based in this industry. And when you don't have a commission coming in, that means you don't have business.
Yeah.
So the whole point of today is, what are you doing when you don't have business? Because I've been there. We've all been there. But then I say, it's time to wake up and go to work and lay some pipe. I call it laying pipe, because I want to be 4, 5, even 6 months down the road, ready and willing, because I got a paycheck coming in. Yeah. And that is the point of real estate. Now, one of the hardest things, though, is the mental side of this business.
Yeah.
We are in sales. You are getting ripped up day in, day out. Not everybody you talk to is going to say yes. Mariah, have you had those experiences?
Yes, definitely.
And so when you are being told no, don't call me again, shut up, just nasty stuff from individuals that you've never met, they've never met you, which, by the way, they don't understand that this is your full-time job, that you have a family to feed, you've got a mortgage to pay just like them. Yeah, your hours might look different, but if you can get your foot in the door, that's what you need to focus on. If you don't have business right now, imagine a door frame. That door frame, it's a rectangular shape. How can you get your hand on the knob, and how can you put your right foot in first?
I like that analogy.
That's one of the things that I seriously, when I get into a cold call session, yes, because you can get in these mindsets of, man, I had all these conversations, man, I sent all these texts out, I did a blast email, but what actually produced me income out of that?
And guys, we're going to get into some like actual, because I know a lot of you just want to know, like, tell me the ways, like what are the ways I can actually get business? Because there's so many ways. We mentioned cold calling a lot, but you do not have to cold call. Most of the agents I talk to that, run successful businesses, they don't cold call, and that's fine. It's just something that's always worked really well for us. Like, you don't have business, cold call, guarantee you're going to get business and you're going to be just fine. I do want to add though, like what came to mind when you were mentioning like you're laying pipeline, whatever. That analogy of, it's so true in real estate that you're living like today, right now. If I'm really busy in my business, I may not have been even prospecting a lot this month. It's because 2 months ago, I was really going hard prospecting. Like, you're always, or maybe 3 months ago, 6 months ago, you're always living in like yesterdays. I don't know how to really
That is the hardest thing I would say.
It is so true.
In
like,
this world,
like
though,
if I'm, just chilling, which is fine, you can get to a point in your business where you really, it's hard to explain to someone that's not in a business. You can kind of feel it out and push and pull back when, and whatever it works. It's a lifestyle. Okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if I'm like just chilling, not doing a lot of prospecting right now, I might be busy right now with clients, but I am going to feel that and be less busy months down the road.
That's the point.
And if I'm really busy right now, it's because 6 months ago I was prospecting hard.
Yeah.
Like I remember, there's been so many times throughout the years when I went like really hard in October during the year, and I wasn't busy in October, but then a few months later I started getting really busy out of nowhere, and it was because of those leads from October were finally ready to go. So it's like, that's just the way it is.
And seriously, what we get wrapped up in, though, is when we are busy, like you were mentioning, there's like this task list of everything you got to do. And so that's why it is irritating when I talk to for sale by owners or individuals that, just think realtors are overpaid or overglorified. Well, when you got 6, 8, 9 transactions happening at one time, the one thing I always forget to do, the one thing that I forget to do when I wake up in the morning is prospect for my future. That is what I tend to forget. Because mentally, I'm like,
most powerful
yeah,
thing.
you know, because mentally, I'm like, I'm doing so well. Yes,
yeah,
I'm working towards these commissions. I'm getting deals
I
closed.
get it.
I'm negotiating on behalf of my clients. But once those close, then what?
Yeah.
If you're forgetting to prospect, which we're going to get into some methods of prospecting.
Yeah.
That's what this show's about.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is getting you motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not prospecting, your business is failing.
Absolutely.
I'm going to repeat that. If you are not prospecting, your business is failing.
Yeah. And I think that something that has always been true for me and how I've run my business now, 11 years in, is I've really had to learn to be able to pivot my business. For example, the first probably 5 years of my business, literally all of it, with the exception of like probably 5% of my business came from for sale by owners. I loved it. I doubled down on it. And then my life changed and it just didn't really fit into how I wanted to live my life anymore. I loved it for the time being, driving from house to house, town to town. But then like not all of a sudden, it's not what I want anymore. So then I knew it was time to pivot and I changed how I got business and then started this relocation, not this YouTube channel, but a different YouTube channel for, buyers relocating here, and started getting amazing clients, higher price points than I'd ever worked with. But it's because I pivoted, and now I've actually pivoted kind of away from that. And I have other things that I'm doing. And so, and you can always do a little bit of, what works. But I guess my whole point is like, you got to do what you know is going to work for you, but also don't be afraid to pivot. It's okay to pivot and say like, okay, maybe this worked for me in that season of my life and this is how I got all my business, but now I feel that this tug to do this other thing, and it's okay to pivot and do things a little differently. Yeah.
And so for the audience, you guys tuning in today, I know you're eager that title of, hey, what to do when your business is slow. Let's get past the talk now and let's actually put it into action. Okay. Let's put it into application for you, yourself, your business. Yeah. How can you, Mariah, because we have different opinions. Mariah and I have different views. So I'm going to interview her. She's going to interview me. Okay. You guys can then just write down if we can give you exact places to go website wise, subscriptions, great. Throw those out there. I'm going to do my best to keep it organized and just show you and tell you what my routines are of how I'm gaining viewership, of how I'm attracting more clients. But first, let's start off with Mariah, because you mentioned something very, very important. Yeah. And it's the pivot. The pivot. Okay. You said it probably 5 times, and it's great because you've been in the business for going on 11 years now. Yeah. And you are forced to work with what's in the market. You are forced to say, hey, today's world is not what yesterday's world looks like. Yeah. And I think that's maturity. And tell us like what you were doing in the beginning, the middle, and then maybe right now is the end. Not it's the end of your career, but right now because it's the present, okay? And just go through a couple different ways of prospecting. And just, I want to point this out, guys. Find one thing that sticks today. Find one thing that fits your personality and says, you know what, I can try this one out. Yeah. I can apply this to my business and give it at least 30 days at minimum, okay? At least 30 days. I'm going to stop talking. Okay. Mariah, tell me about your pivots. My pivots. But ways that you were doing business and are currently doing business to the very end.
Okay. Well, I do love how this business, it truly is such a thing where there's a million ways to do it. Like there's a million ways to run it and to get business, and they all truly work. And I love that I get to have conversations. Now my business life looks a lot different now. I'll just skip forward to what it looks like now a little bit. So I am still in production, but I spend a lot of my time mentoring and sponsoring agents through the brokerage I'm with, which is such a big blessing. Real Broker. It's something I love doing so much. And so because of that, I get to talk to agents all over the US and Canada on a daily basis. And something that I see is agents succeeding in starting and growing their business that I get to, be involved with, which is amazing and so fun. And
so you are seeing agents right now, new hitting the market.
Yes.
Because you talk
All
to
over.
them by far a lot more than I do. I'm
All
in my
the
little
time.
Oregon bubble.
Yeah, I'm all
You
over.
are all over.
Yes. And
so they're doing business.
they're doing a lot of business, and they're all doing different methods. They're not all just doing the same thing, which is the really cool thing to see, is that like one agent over here, she's killing it with open houses and she's doing great. Another agent is like Instagram, but like relocation focused only. She's getting leads from it. And not, like they're all doing something a little different, like whatever that tug is for them. Like I feel called to run my business this way. And that's the thing, is like, you can have two different agents and your days, lives, business could look drastically different. It could seem like you almost have two entirely different jobs. Like let's take cold calling and a relocation YouTube channel. One person day is like, I don't want to say a call center because it's way more fun than that. But like you're making calls all day, getting rejected. And then another person, you're like a YouTuber and you're still real estate agents. And I guess it's just crazy how like you could do two different things to get business and your life's going to look way different. So that's one of the aspects that my business is right now. An aspect of my business is getting to mentor and sponsor and help other agents.
And
grow.
so out of those mentorships and sponsors that you're talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, are you taking little pieces of advice that those agents are currently doing to traction and get business, maybe in Florida, South Carolina, Texas? And do you think those methods are working maybe on this West Coast in Oregon?
I think that they could work anywhere. I mean, are you asking like, am I taking them for me?
Yeah, and applying them to like us and our strategy,
Yeah.
because we use these sit down talks honestly in
Yeah.
front of a camera almost as our business meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of fun to do that. We're husband and wife, so we get to do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are you like writing these things down? Because honestly, like for me, I love talking to people and learning from their
Yes.
experiences and then applying it. Just like I mentioned to you guys,
Yeah.
is if one thing sticks, can you apply it to your business?
Yes and no. So I am absolutely getting ideas from and learning from, and like you said, writing things down when I get inspired as I'm having these conversations with my agent friends about what's going on in their business and what's working for them. But at the same time, I definitely am super careful not to have what we call in this business shiny object syndrome, where I'm like, oh, my agent friend in Georgia is just killing it on TikTok. I'm going to do that. And then I jump over here and do this. And I do this. Like I know what I'm called to do right now. And you know what I mean? Like I know what my business is supposed to look like. So I do think that's really important to like, yes, get ideas from other people, but like you don't necessarily need to change your whole business plan and jump all around. It's a lot more powerful to like zero in on what you should be doing and then just do it better and do more of it, you know?
Okay, yeah. Okay. And so your methods though of today's title, the subject getting business when you really have none. What would you be doing in today's market? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear your side in today's market.
Okay.
Whether you're new, 11 years in the business like you are, when you have none. Think about ground zero. My bank account is empty.
Yep.
How can I get business but also get a commissions check 60 days from now?
Guys, I'm so biased because this is how I started my business and because I know that it works because I've done it and seen it happen so many times. Is I would call for sell by owners. I would go onto Craigslist, go onto Zillow. If you really want to drop a little bit of money, not that much, but you could buy Espresso Agent, a dialer. But I would just stick with Craigslist and Zillow even for now and start somewhere. And I would start door knocking for sell by owners. I'd start calling them. I'd start being in their ear over and over and over. Yes, this gets discouraging because it's definitely a lot more of a long-term thing than we think. It takes more time.
Right.
It takes time to build that skill too. It's not like you start out and you're good at it. Like you get better as you go.
But why for sale by owners?
Because they're raising their hand and saying, I want to sell. And because I genuinely know they need our help. A lot of agents I've talked to have said, well, I don't want to call them because they're going to sell anyway. They don't need my help. Well, actually, statistically, we know like 90% of every for sale by owner ends up listing with an agent, even though 100% of them probably are going to tell you on the phone, we're never, ever, 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 ever going to list. Well, I cannot tell you how many for sale by owners over the years have told me we're never, ever, ever listing. And then they list with me months down the road after I follow up. So I just really believe in that so much because I've seen it. And I just know it's very much the kind of thing of like, they're out there, so go get it. Like there's no cap to what you can do. I'm not at a point in my business and life where I want to be selling 100 homes a year. That's not the lifestyle I want. I really love my lifestyle that I have, although I do still love selling houses. But if I wanted to go sell 100 houses a year, like, they're out there. Go get them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's literally no reason they're raising your hand. Be an expert in that.
No, absolutely.
It's the easiest way to start.
Okay, so if you're at ground zero, you got no business, for sale by owners.
I just
door knock them, call them, get them on Zillow, for God's sakes. Because there's a reason it's free on Zillow.
Yeah.
It's public information. Yeah. If they don't want you calling them, don't put your number online saying call me.
Yeah. Always call, do not call.
Part of the reasons.
I always call, do not call. Always.
Because here's the deal. They are going to list with somebody.
They absolutely are.
On average, 28 days from now, that current for sale by owner will either have not sold their home or sold their home. So you got 50-50 chance there. But then after that 20-day period, they're going to start interviewing. They will always tell you they know an agent just to get you off the phone.
Yes.
Can you overcome that objection?
Yeah.
I got an agent. I already know him. It's my cousin. It's my uncle. It's my a neighbor. Okay, great. Don't come off as cocky or you're better than anybody else. But like I said in the very beginning of the show, there's a door. That's their front door. Get your foot in it.
Yeah. And I think we should talk a little bit about, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this because, so most agents I talk to, and I talk to a lot of agents, like I said, they don't want to call for sale by owners. And that's okay. Like I said, I'm so biased. I think it's like, they're right there, literally raising their hand. Why not you go get them? Like they're waiting for you to list them. But although it's not as easy as that sounds, but still, it's such a great opportunity. But at the same time, most of the agents getting into the business today are not getting into the business hoping to be cold calling. That's not really what they want to do. However, there are a million other ways, and you absolutely don't have to cold call to run a successful business. Right. I know this firsthand because, like I said, almost all the agents that I am, helping on a continual basis and seeing them grow their business from zero. Some of them aren't new, but some of them are new. Most of them are cold calling and they're still succeeding. So Spencer, what are some of the other many, many things? We don't have to go as in depth on them,
Absolutely.
But what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Well, for one, if I was new to the business, and I've shared and I've told this and I've said this for years, is I wouldn't jump in like I did. I quit my job kind of cold turkey. I was on a stable monthly check like the majority of individuals. And then I said, I'm going to become a realtor and join Mariah and my wife and produce income in that way. Well, like I said.
And it was the same year, I believe, we had a baby too.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. Yeah. We just bought our first house, got a mortgage, all this stuff, all new stuff. And by the way, I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm still a kid. I have no idea. I've never filed taxes, really. Yeah. Come on. I had a 1099 or W-2. It was easy.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I would do. I would work with somebody that knows better. I would, like I said, in my previous office, there was this mentor, right? He's been in the business for 15, 20 years. It's weird we're that mentor now. Yeah. It's partly why we do these videos, and it's free. I ask him questions. Well, this mentor had a team. What I really love about what Mariah is doing right now is and this isn't a sales pitch, by the way. This is reality. She's providing free mentorship for a lot of individuals. What's really cool nowadays is we got a video, we got microphones, we have an audience. So that's maybe how you're viewing this video. There's free resources to get you business that you're not having to pay for, because what I can tell you is everything in this industry costs money. Money. I'm the money guy. I do our taxes. I do our finances. I do the budgeting. Everything costs money. And so when you find individuals that are willing to help you, that are willing to reply to an email, that are willing to take a comment, if you guys leave one with your email saying, contact me, I'm interested, that's what she does. And what's really cool is when you have experience behind you, it's only going to make your life better. It's only going to get you more business. So if you're at ground zero and you don't have business right now, what are you going to do? I would start asking questions. I would start saying, hey, what should I do? What technique, what platform do you use? Is it video based? Is it calls? Is it open houses? Which, by the way, if you do open houses, leave a comment below. I would love to ask more questions because honestly, I suck at open houses.
Same.
I suck at them. Ever since I never had a mentor share, this is how I host an open house. This is how I get an open house. Because, I mean, we only have so many listings, right?
Yeah.
What do you do for open houses? Leave a comment
let us
below
know.
because, honestly, I'm willing to go that route for 60 days straight. Open house Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Just to like see if not see if it works because it does
works.
But like because it's something new we haven't experienced.
Exactly.
We've never really gotten business from open houses ever.
So if that's you,
let
drop
us
the
know.
comment. Guys, you see what I just did there? I asked a question and I'm asking, hey, can I have your help?
Yeah.
And so what's really awesome is I would be joining a team. I would be, maybe if you don't want to fully join a team because there's a lot of commission splits involved there. You do a lot of work, but the work's not forever. You can work there for 3, 6, 9, even a year.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to get you experience.
Yeah.
And in this industry, it's really hard, especially starting out, because it costs money. Your licensing, your MLS fees, your marketing on a listing, your signage, your gas, your phone bill, the internet, the office space, the paper out of your printer. What if you have no materials in your brokerage's cloud base? Well, you got to buy a printer. You got to buy all this stuff. And ultimately, I would say it's going to cost you $2,000 to $3,000. If it's worth it to you, put it on credit and work hard. Work hard.
Yeah.
Pay off that credit card 3 months down the road. And I promise you'll never say, I regretted it. Yeah. But you got to hit the ground running and make that choice.
Yeah, this business truly is like the land of opportunity because it 1,000,000% is what you make it. And there's no, I just feel like once you're settled, once you're past that hustle phase, you're settled, like there's no going back. There's no way to go to another way of living. Like, I don't know how you could go from this lifestyle to 9-to-5 job. Like it is truly the best way to live. Like
I can tell you,
it's so worth it. It's hard at first, but it is so worth it.
And I'm crazy Spence, man.
It's so worth it.
How do you do what you do?
It's so worth it.
Well, we work. We work. It's 10, 11 p.m. at night, and I'm working.
And we always think like, we work less than part-time, but then we're always but we are always working, and we don't consider it work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's a pleasure when you love what you do. Like we're taking off for a month soon, and like, but we're also going to be working. Like we're not going to just not take care of we're going to be handling listings and all of that. And it's a blessing and a pleasure to get to do, though. It's not a burden at all. It's amazing.
Before this video gets too long, let me give you more applications than just, go find somebody that knows more than you. So one method of prospecting that I absolutely enjoy, and I believe you guys, if you've watched our previous videos on our other YouTube channels even, you know I'm a cold caller. You know that I'm going to get you on the phone. I'm going to probably warm up the first five phone calls, whether it's from Zillow or ExpressoAgent.com. Yes, ExpressoAgent.com. I'm not sponsored by them. I just share them as a source because that's what I use, who I use. I could probably get paid just by saying their names. But I deal with cold calls with expired listings and for sale by owners. I like that system because I've dialed for so many years. I feel like I deserve to pay for a subscription that draws their numbers for me with the seller's name, their property address, previous listing, all that stuff.
That's true.
Just to make sure that just to make sure that it's all in one good place for me and it's quick and easy. So it becomes routine, okay?
Yeah.
Nothing works without a good routine, and that's why it's just so important to establish these routines. But cold call. If you don't want to buy a dialer, go on to Zillow, go on to Craigslist, copy paste those for sale by owners. You can even do it off of your phone directly. Hold the button, not the button, but the phone number part down on your phone. Copy it, press call, you're on the phone. Yeah. And I usually do that while I'm walking. Yeah. If it's a nice day here in Oregon, I'm outside and I'll walk and talk the whole time. Yeah, you will. Now, I don't answer the phone from an incoming call. I always wait until I'm done with the calling session, okay? Because I'm focused because if you got an incoming call, random number, you're not saving these numbers. You're going to answer and sound like an idiot. Hello, what property address are you? Blah, blah, blah. Look it up later when you're done with the cold call session, and then call them back or text them back with, hey, this is the known property address, so you sound like a real estate professional like you are. So cold calling, yes. Now, another way of prospecting seriously is Facebook. If you're not,
true.
if you're not locally,
Yeah.
I guess, how do I put this? If you're not locally seen from your own sphere of influence, from your own area, that's an issue. That's a problem. When I first got in the business, I think Tom Ferry or even some other coaches, they said you don't want to be a secret agent. That word stuck with me.
Yeah.
Don't be a secret agent, guys.
Yeah.
You're just going to get left behind. There's 2,300 other agents in my area just like me. What makes me look special?
Yeah.
Well, what I do is I go and I make these YouTube videos and I upload them into a thing called Opus Clip. Okay? That's an AI reel generator. Yes, that does cost money. Well, what I have found is when I quit doing that versus when I'm doing that, I walk into my local markets. I walk into my sphere of influence and they say, Spence, I see you online. Spencer, wow, you are a marketer. Spencer. Yeah. And the whole point is not to just sell a house, but to have self-promotion. Because like I said, you don't want to be a secret agent. So whether you're making personal posts, business posts, reels, photos, open houses, whatever, make yourself appear that you're online, okay? Not that you're busy, not that you're doing this or sounding cocky. That's not the angle. Yeah. That's kind of gross. But just to appear that, hey, you're associated in real estate and this is what you do. It's a full-time job and it's your passion. Because that's what it is. You don't get into real estate without that passion because this is a people's business.
Yeah. And it is such a thing where, like I said earlier, like we always think like, oh, we don't really work that much and we love our lifestyle and it's amazing. But I mean, yeah, there's time. Well, if a client needs something, well, and you don't have to run your business this way. A lot of people set firm boundaries and they don't respond after 5:00 p.m. We're very chill. Like I'll do something for my client at 9 p.m. I don't care. Yeah. Like I don't care. And so you're just, yeah.
And so on the topic of social media though, like I said, I cheat a little bit. I use auto posts. I schedule them out through Opus Clips. And like I said, it's an AI generator, but you need to create content for that. And you can do a 10-minute, 15-minute video on your iPhone. It does not matter, guys. Yeah. You don't need to have this recording set, the headset, the beautiful cameras. It doesn't matter, okay? At the end of the day, it's exposure. Yeah. Don't worry so hard on the editing. Don't worry so hard on, oh, what did I say? What did I do wrong? Here's the deal. It's very short form. Okay. Tomorrow, no one's ever going to see it again.
It's so true.
Especially if you're posting 3, 2, 4, 5 things a day, it gets lost in your feed.
It's so true.
It's remaining relevant. So don't focus so hard on, oh, it's got to be perfect. Yeah. It doesn't, guys.
And we'll probably do a show like going more in depth on just this. But like before we wrap up, I just want to add though, as far as like another thing I would do if I was brand new and wanted business. Again, nothing's going to be as like quick business as prospecting hard, actually going out and prospecting.
That's long form.
Like all of these are a little more long-term things, but they are very powerful. But another thing I would do if I was a brand new agent or just needed business right now is I would start making videos for Facebook consistently. Obviously, I'd start a YouTube channel, maybe location specific, talking about, my area, whatever, buying a house specifically in my area, moving to my area, whatever. But I would also be having I wouldn't be like sharing my YouTube link onto Facebook. I would have separate videos I make for Facebook, for my Facebook audience, whether it's just like you showing you outside of the house and being like, hey guys, I'm going to walk through this house, like just whatever it is, or home buyer tips, whatever, just consistently be making videos showing up on Facebook.
And I don't want to engineer this show to be directly with social media because I have found that if you use social media as your main form of prospecting, you can become a time waster.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is you're spending so much energy into these posts, into these research, into these videos, into the editing, and you might only get 2-3 clients out of it. Yeah. I don't know if that return is quite worth it.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of why I it's not something I really focus on right now because I'm so hyper aware of how I spend my time and I'm so limiting how often I spend time doing work activities right now that, it's just not the highest, I don't know, like the highest return for your time investment, I guess you could say.
And I would say because it's so easy and free. Yeah. Okay. It's the cheap route, I would say, because everybody's got access to these platforms. especially if they're another licensed agent. And the algorithms are so dang hard.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible. The people that's using these platforms, because you could just be washed out completely. So,
It's
but
true.
be a presence.
Yeah.
Make that part of your daily routine. I would highly suggest to incorporate it.
Yeah.
If you're not, and if you are, maybe do a little bit better on the comments, the likes, the engagement side of these apps. Only time block particular hours of the day to be using it, though.
Yeah.
And I would only be using it strictly for business, because you can.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. Mariah yells at me all the time scrolling the reels and videos. We've all been there, guys. But that would be my suggestion. Try to use it as a time blocker. And I don't want to gear your business towards social media, honestly, because I believe the traditional route of real estate, you're going to do a heck of a lot better. And so brings me up to my third point. Like I mentioned earlier, bring a comment below. Tell me what you do to gain more open houses. Because I sincerely, over the last few years, and guys, I'm talking years here, this has been a thought in my head.
Really?
I really want to do it. I think I can do it, you know?
I don't think you've done one. I haven't
but
done
I can
one.
do it.
I have not done one in 9 years.
Do you know why? Do you know why I really want to do an open house? And it's because of this
Why?
memory. You don't even know about this memory.
What?
So I'm living in Mill City. There's this agent. I don't even know how my parents find this agent. She might not even be in the business now.
When you were in like
when I was
grade,
young, yes, third grade.
Okay.
So first house I lived in, we're selling it, we're moving, and she has an open house. We have to leave the house. But guess what we did before we left, Mariah?
You made cookies.
Made cookies.
Are you serious?
We made
that's
cookies.
That's actually funny.
so if that's and we did the same
like
in
so
another home sale,
oh
and it
my
was
God.
so just stereotypical,
That's
exactly like you said, an agent in the business. Maybe she asked my parents, or
That's funny.
I don't know if
probably
she made
advised
them and came
too.
early.
That was like a big thing back then.
You
Nowadays,
make
people
cookies, right?
don't eat cookies
Hey.
from a stranger.
And when I hold an open house, call me the Cookie Monster, because I'm going to make a lot of cookies, especially on the beginning ones. But
That's funny.
It's I don't know. It's kind of cliche, but kind of fun. But there's something about self promotion, but also just the funness in this business, and you can't get away from the traditional methods of selling and buying real estate.
Yeah.
And I truly do believe open houses are very traditional.
Yeah.
And we can make that one happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. If you grabbed any value from today's video, leave us a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys very soon.